We are excited to have you with us here at Appia Studios in Geneva, Switzerland, for an hour-long conference with live translation on inCORPUS and its two revolutionary announcements dedicated to professional football clubs. Fatigue management is essential in football and generally in elite sports. To perform at a top level, it is vital to manage fatigue, and as we are going to present to you today, inCORPUS allows you to efficiently manage fatigue. In one sentence, inCORPUS analyzes how the autonomic nervous system works and categorizes it into 8 unique energy profiles. In turn, this is what makes inCORPUS unique. The ANS is fundamental because it gives us key objective information on the unconscious functioning of the inner body. These 8 profiles do not come as a fatigue measuring scale. These are 8 unique profiles that differently identify the ways the ANS is regulated. They give us instantaneous and fundamental information about the players in a non-invasive manner to make the best possible decision regarding players' health, shape, and fatigue. The 10 minutes starts with 5 minutes in supine, followed by 5 minutes in standing position. Once the test is over, players are done, and with the fatigue profiles ready, staff members can adapt or optimize their training if necessary. Regarding the relevance of inCORPUS, different researchers have drawn the same conclusion that HRV is relevant in football and other team sports, especially for fatigue management. In football, fatigue is inevitable, so HRV and inCORPUS are relevant. Each season, a club records between 25 and 30 muscle injuries, which decreases players' and clubs' performance. The most serious injuries result in absences as long as 7 months. Each rank lost in the league costs about €2 million. Both football clubs and international football organizations are concerned about players' health and performances. Anticipating the decreases in performance and the risk of injury allows to keep the players on the pitch and increase the club's revenue.
We've made a simple, quick and efficient interface for coaches for rapid decision making. This is our innovation, this is Teamview. A quick video about the product. So in Teamview, we've made it simple for you to see your team being in training mode or in match mode and to adapt the tactical formation of the team. You see the color and the fatigue associated to each player. We've made it simple for you to change your player, your selection, and once you click on a player card, you can see his key HRV matrix together and alongside the data coming from your GPS system. We've made it simple for you within Teamview to communicate to your staff, either to the players or to the medical staff by sending notification. When it's relevant, we've made it simple for you to click and access to all the detailed statistics of a player. We've also included in this dashboard that you can access to some suggestions of remediations, what to do for each fatigue profile.
But the Cube is like an under the hood or a scientific innovation which goes beyond just the identification of fatigue and gives us, among other things, the ability to predict fatigue. But the innovation is not limited to just prediction. We have created a new tool to help identify dependable players. The Cube analyzes physiological profiles of the players to determine whether in general they have a tendency towards fatigue, and if so, to what type of fatigue. This enables the assessment not only based on skill and talent, but also on the physiological capacity of the player. And the goal behind all these new functionalities is to provide important information for the coaches and managers just to make informed decisions. These core benefits, for example, short and long-term predictions, are a product of carefully studying the needs of elite-level football clubs. These functionalities are created based on a vast database of inCORPUS tests that we have.
And we have already collected to date more than 1,000 checkups from professional football players.
With higher levels of fatigue, naturally, the risk of injury increases. This is well demonstrated notably by the studies of Extron, and above all, the financial impacts are huge for the clubs. So, by anticipating the risks associated with fatigue through inCORPUS, we can aim to lower the total risk of injuries in the entire squad and help teams to have star and key players more often on the pitch and by extension, improve teams' performance and revenue. It is by integrating this new inCORPUS data to what the staff already does that progresses will be made. It is a key element because it is objective information, unconscious, that the players cannot control. It is an open window to the inner functioning of the player. By adding this new information to the technology already existing around a football pitch, we can really overcome obstacles in fatigue prediction and injury prevention to the best possible.
And unique solution to have an objective assessment of internal load of a player. Thus, we can anticipate fatigue state, and thus we can anticipate preventable injuries.
For many years, I have been directly involved in football, whether in Monaco as physical trainer and coach, or even last season in Nottingham Forest in England. A 10-minute protocol-based recording in a training day is negligible, as it is not necessary to have several inCORPUS tests in consecutive training sessions unless a fatigue has been identified. I'd say it's good news if one day you find yourself with a team of 10 players in red fatigue profiles, because inCORPUS provided information that was simply not available before. So in this worst-case scenario, you'll be able to manage the situation before it gets out of hand. I started in the academy of AS Monaco. Then I had the opportunity to integrate with the pro team for 3 seasons. I then left for the OGC Nice for another 3 seasons. Today, I'm happily with Leicester and have been with them for the last 5 seasons. I have been using inCORPUS for the last 4 months now. At the beginning, I took 2 tests a week. But now that I'm playing less and the matches are closer to each other, and so we train less and in lighter sessions, I take 1 test a week. So you're saying when you played more matches, you took 2 tests a week, and now that you play less and the matches are closer to each other, so you train fewer times and with lower intensity, you only take 1 test a week. Exactly. It is easy to use inCORPUS, and more importantly, it provides a lot of information for me and helps me better understand myself. We can also use it to increase or decrease the training load in a session, so it is an advantage for the players. For them, inCORPUS is a nice technology. It helped them to better understand my state. On my end, it helps me manage my training so that I know if I can push it or not. I consider it part of my training. 10 minutes is nothing in a day. During the checkup, I relax in my bed, close my eyes, and stay calm. So for a training day, it is feasible, and it is not restraining in the end. Yes, absolutely, especially before training. I'm used to waking up early in the morning to take my son to school, and this doesn't change my day in any way. I am the physical trainer of the women's professional team. As I'm the only one, I have several roles. I am also involved in rehabilitation, analyze GPS data, and everything that goes with strength training. The performance head coach of the club reached out to David Barriak, as it was among the directions the club wanted to take to have objective information on player states. Since January, we are using inCORPUS on a volunteer-based system. We did not want to force the players, and actually, 80% of the team took it. From that point onwards, it was not hard to incorporate and use inCORPUS because, as it was also mentioned by Papi Nampalis, players can use it at home and it is not hard to use. They take the test after getting up, and when we get to the club, the information is there, so it's very easy.
Ça se fait tout, comme l'a dit Papi Napalis, c'est que ça se fait en fait chez elle, donc c'est pas très contraignant au réveil et nous tout de suite on a les infos quand on arrive au club, donc c'est très pratique.
We can ask how they feel or have them fill questionnaires before training, for example, on their sleep and how they felt, but this leads to subjective information. When it comes to inCORPUS, we can cross-reference information with real objective information. It's the simplicity of use for players and also for the staff because we have a dashboard that gives us the color and energy profile of the players, different colors that show whether the player is fatigued and how. This
Voilà,
helps us
il y a
optimize the training session
différentes
based on their
couleurs
profile.
qui préconisent si elle est fatiguée, pas fatiguée, si elle est vraiment fatiguée, si elle est en forme. Et ça nous permet, nous, d'adapter sur la séance tout de suite par rapport à cette couleur. Nous, honnêtement, on est très
Honestly, we are
ravis. Les
delighted.
joueuses
The players also,
aussi, parce
because first thing in the
qu'elles, dès le
morning, they
matin,
are
elles sont
into it
déjà,
like in a
elles
game.
se sont
They
préoccupées,
have
elles ont
something
quelque
they
chose
like.
qui leur plaît.
And for
Et
us,
nous,
what is
ce qui est
good
bien,
is
c'est
that when we
qu'on a pu
perform a
aussi,
high training
sitôt que
load
vous
the
voulez
next
travailler
day,
une forte
in
charge
addition to the
d'entraînement,
GPS data, which already
le
provides good
lendemain, en fonction de
information,
nos
we
GPS, ça
know
nous donne
whether the
déjà
player is
des infos.
fatigued and
Et
whether
avec
we
ça,
have
le
reached
lendemain,
our
voir si
goal.
la fille était fatiguée, ça pouvait nous permettre de dire, OK, on a quand même atteint notre cible à ce niveau-là. En fait, s'il y a une fille,
Imagine
par
there is a
exemple,
spontaneous session with a
si
high training
vous
load
n'était pas
during the week
prévu
and
dans
that
la
the
semaine
player
que ça
turns
soit
up
un
with
jour
a red
fort d'entraînement
profile.
la veille
We
et
will not
que
withdraw the
après ce
player from
jour-là,
training.
elle ressort
This
sur une
would not
couleur
be
plutôt
ideal because the player
rouge,
will consider it as a means that could
derrière, on ne va pas
penalize him,
pour
and
autant
then
la
they may
sortir
not want to
d'entraînement,
do
c'est
the
pas le but
checkups
parce que
again.
sinon, là,
Instead, the
c'est le
idea
genre
is to
d'outils
see
qui
if there
vont
is an
être ensuite une
unexpected
punition
fatigue state
et
regarding the
à
training
nous
load
de jouer le
imposed.
jeu
We can
et
adapt
pour
training or
pouvoir le
use
faire.
the player
Donc
as a
c'était pas
substitute. Or
l'idée,
if, for
c'est pas
example,
ça. C'est
there
par
is
contre, si
athletic
vous êtes
training, the
fatigué à ce
player may
moment-là,
only
prévu,
perform
si elle est
half of it.
fatiguée par rapport à la charge qu'on avait prédit, on va adapter l'entraînement avec elle et on va plutôt la situer en joker ou en appui. Ou si par exemple il y a un bloc athlétique qui va être de 3 à 4 blocs, et ben, elle en ferait que la moitié.